It's your boy Zoe Phillips. Thanks for tuning in to Zone Coverage Podcast, home of the HBCU Sports Authority, the oracle on all things HBCU. I'm gonna tell you like this. If I tell you a mosquito can pull a wagon, don't ask me no questions. You better look at it. It's your boy Zoe Phillips. What's going on? What's going on, everybody, man? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Zone Coverage Podcast with your boy Zoe Phillips. Got another good show for you guys, man, on this great Tuesday, February 25th. You guys come on and join us as we go over the HBCU landscape. And look, we'll kind of go a few things, man. Talk about the Andre Dawson Classic. Actually get into Valley, man. Valley finally, you know what I'm saying, making an announcement within their staff. A few pieces they actually released out, man. And, man, one of them was very interesting, very peculiar. You know, getting to that, South Carolina State actually made a new hire on their staff, which is another really, really good pickup for Chinnisberry and what he tends to do for his second rendition of his Bulldog football program. We'll also get into a little baseball news. I mentioned Andre Dawson Classic. Get into obviously the previous week basketball awards came out today, and get into some other little things too, man. And ended up like that. So we'll actually go ahead and get started, you guys. Let me go ahead and segue and move this thing over here, and so we can actually go ahead and excuse me. We can actually go ahead and get into it. And first thing we want to get into, man, is actually get into the SIAC, like we stated, actually got into the player awards. And as you guys can see, we got excuse me, they announced their player of the week. Man, I am tripping. Forgive me, you guys. Excuse me, got to the player of the week, man. 1 second. Turn this thing down. Give me 1 second, you guys. Dog it. Here we go. 1 second here. If my phone could actually work. One second. Yikes. Well, you can't never get enough pulled up when you're looking for it. All right, sorry about that. So yeah, the SIAC actually, let's see how to play stuff. Power pole. What the hell? Hold on 1 second. There we go. Had to pull it up, man, because the name was kind of tough. Sorry about the delay, you guys. But yeah, they actually announced today that Antronia Gardner actually got player of the week this week for the SCIC. As you guys can see, man, she actually averaged in 16.5 points. Basically, go ahead and say she averaged 17 points, 8 rebounds, and shot 65% from the field. this week to garner the Player of the Week honors in the SIAC. The newcomer of the week was Peyton Jambor from Allen University, a forward sophomore from Moncks Corner, South Carolina, home of Charlamagne the God. And those were your actual Player of the Week credentials this week, in the SIAC with this particular week. Now, we'll actually move on next over here to the MEAC, and got quite a few things we actually want to get into with regards to the MEAC. I had a lot that actually happened for them. We'll get to the players, excuse me, to the players of the week first. They got a lot of good things we actually want to kind of get into. But on the yikes. Here we go. On the players of the week, as you guys see, we had Diamond Johnson, who was the actual player of the week out of Norfolk State. Who we'll get to them here momentarily. They had an outstanding week as well as an outstanding season. You got Erica Huggins, who was the co-rookie of the week, as well as Sanaya King, who was co-rookie of the week out of Howard. And then we finished it up with Kiara Wheeler, who was the defensive player of the week. As to close out, I believe they only got one weekend left in the regular season within the MEAC basketball season before they try to go ahead and get ready for the upcoming tournament season. Now, since we're on basketball, look, we're gonna go ahead and shout out. Man, this is a huge deal. When you talk about from a historical sense, when we talk about the MEAC and the SWAC, the SWAC was more known as the SEC before the SEC. The MEAC was more known for basketball. Now, granted, during the time in the '90s and the early 2000s, the MEAC kind of, weighed their hand with regards to football success more so than the SWAC. But man, this is huge. Norfolk State got their 20th win a few days here lately. I think yesterday got their 20th win yesterday, and it's the fourth year in a row they got 20 wins or more, which is the first time in MEAC history. And I got to tell you guys, man, that's strong. A good number of the teams in the MEAC, came by way of the CIAA. But in the MEAC's history, to have, I don't care where it is, to have any program to get 4 consecutive seasons of 20 wins or more, man, that's outstanding. So, kudos to them and the coaching staff because we'd love to see that, in the SWAC. And man, that speaks to some damn good consistency. So kudos to them. And again, if we're gonna talk about the men, I'd be remiss if we to talk about the women. The women have been doing the dang on thing, man. Listen, the women have they went 11 at home, 11-0 at home this season. For, believe it or not, man, the second year in a row. I don't know if you guys know this, but Norfolk State women have the current active longest home winning streak in Division One. It's not South Carolina, it's not Tennessee, it's not UConn, it's not USC, none of those schools. It's Norfolk State. They have won 26 straight games at home. Now granted, Jack State lost to McGaree. I think we had a longer winning streak than that, but still, 26 straight wins at home. And that's not stating just all conference games. This is just straight up a current home winning streak. 26 straight wins at home. So at the end of the day, man, that is super, super strong, man. Proud of those girls for doing that. Kudos to them. And I think they actually went up, I believe, over the weekend in the mid-major poll. I think they actually moved up a few spots. And again, that's outstanding. And I believe in this particular season, I honestly believe they'll probably get the highest bid of any HBCU women's team in the NCAA tournament. Now granted, they got to win the MEAC tournament, but I think in doing so, I think they really run the risk to have the highest seed in HBCU history. So kudos to them, man. They've been doing an outstanding job over there in Norfolk. And look, while we're over there in Norfolk, again, they're doing a damn thing. Give kudos, man, to the indoor track and field program. This is the fourth year in a row that they've won the indoor track and field championship. Man, talk about consistency, right? 4 straight years of a conference title. I don't care what level it is. I don't care what conference it is. To have that level of consistency with success is to be commended. So kudos to them. Kudos to them. And while we're actually, segue from MEAC news, I'd be remiss if I don't come down here and come up here, man. We got to actually get into highlighting, man, the Howard Bison. Man, we want to give straight highlight and kudos to Howard University. Man, their swim team. Notice what I just said, swim team. The fact that they even offer it, kudos to them for that. But their swim team has actually secured their second NEC title in 3 years. We're talking about HBCU, and they're the affiliate member of the NEC because there aren't any HBCU schools to formulate a conference to actually, offer swimming. Man, so their men's swim team has won a conference championship. Uh, the second title in 3 years. So kudos to the Howard Bison for doing that thing as well, because that is, let me tell you guys, that is to be commended. That's a damn good deal. And next, we'll get here and actually get into the HBCU Power 5 and get into some other basketball news. Excuse me. And sorry about that, you guys. And as you guys can see here, we'll start with the D1 men's basketball HBCU Power 5. Excuse me. And I'd also be remiss if I didn't tell you. This HBCU Power 5 is brought to you by Live for Hoops, man. Y'all go check her out and follow her on Twitter. And as you can see here, man, you got Norfolk State number 1, rightfully so. Southern coming in at number 2. You got Hampton coming in at number 3. South Carolina State coming in at 4. And then you have Tennessee State coming in, rounded it out at 5. And when we move over to the D1 women's Power 5, again, Norfolk State, topping it off rightfully so at number 1. You have North Carolina A&T coming in at number 2. The Howard Bison coming in at number 3. Southern University Jags at 4. And finishing off the top 5, you got Texas Southern. All right. Now we moves over and we got the D2 men's Power 5. We got Miles College coming in at number 1. I'm sorry about that, you guys. This. You got Fayetteville State coming in at number 2. Virginia State coming in at number 3. The Panthers at Clark Atlanta coming in at 4. And Claflin coming in at number 5. Like, also, while we're on basketball, we'll actually go here and get into the SWAC made their announcements on today as well for the men's superlatives for the week, the basketball players of the week. And we got Sterling Young out of FAMU coming in as the player of the week in the SWAC. We got Shannon Grant coming in as the Impact HBCU player of the week. And we got Trey Thomas coming in as the newcomer of the week. And also Shannon Grant, shout out to him. He was actually named as the HBCU Plus National Player of the Week as well, which I actually had a hand in voting for. Then we actually get into the SWAC Women's Players of the Week. We got Kayla Walker from Alabama A&M named Player of the Week. We got Cortland Loudermill from Texas Southern coming in as the Impact Player of the Week. And we also have Dara Allen coming in as the newcomer, of the week. And now with that being said, we can actually get into the standings since we got all the superlatives out the way. We'll start off in the MEAC. Got the MEAC men's, As you can see, like again, now you see why Norfolk State was coming in at number 1 in the Power 5, right? You got Norfolk State, man, overall at 20-8. That's an amazing record. 10-1 in conference. Got South Carolina State coming in second at 15-12, 8-3 in conference. Howard coming in third place right now, 12-16 overall, 7-4 in conference. Delaware State 14-12 overall, 6-5 in conference play. Morgan State 11-16 overall, 5-6 in conference play. And rounding out the bottom, you got North Carolina Central at 11-16, 4-6 in conference. Coppin State 5-21, 3-8 in conference, and then Maryland Eastern Shore finishing the standings out 4-22 overall in the season. Woo! Goose egg and 10 in conference play. Over on the women's side, Again, Norfolk State, even better record than the men's, right? That's an amazing record, bro. They only got 4 losses on the whole entire season. 24-4 is outstanding. 11-0 in conference play. You got Howard coming in with a damn good, season for themselves. Coming in at 17-9 overall and 10-1 in conference. The only conference loss they got is to Norfolk. You got Copper State coming in at third, 16-11 overall, 7-4 in conference play. You got North Carolina Central, 8-17, 5-5 in conference play. Maryland Eastern Shore, 9-16 overall, 4-6. Morgan State, 11-15, 4-7 in conference. We got Delaware State, 5-20 overall, 1-10 in conference. And South Carolina State, Lady Bulldogs, 2-25 overall, 1-10 in conference play. As we mosey on over to the SWAC, as you guys can see, you got Southern leading the men's division, 13-1 in conference play. Great record, man. 18-9 overall. Jackson State in sole second place right now with a 10-4 conference record, 10-17 overall. You got Bethune-Cookman and Texas Southern tied at third, both at 10-5 in conference play. Both coincidentally at 13-15 overall. Next up in fourth place, you got Alabama State, 9-6 in conference play, 13-15 overall as well. Then finishing up the top half would be FAMU at 9-6 in conference play, and rounding out going toward the bottom of the standings, you got Alcorn at 8-6 in conference play, Grambling 6-8, followed by Alabama A&M, which is 6-9, Prairie View at 4-11, Arkansas Pine Bluff 2-13, and then finishing out the conference standing, you got Mississippi Valley at 1-14, 3-25 overall on the season. Yikes! As we mosey on to the women's side, I'm sorry about that. With the women, as you can see, Texas Southern, excuse me, Texas Southern is leading the conference at 13-2, with a 14-12 overall record. Southern is one game behind at 12-2. Make sure got blood up for you guys. I know I'm backed up, but that's fine. Southern is 12-2, one game back out of first place, 14-13 overall. You got Alabama A&M right there in the thick of it in third place with a 12-3 overall record. 12-3 conference record, 19-8 overall. And then you have Jackson State sitting in fourth place with an 11-3 conference record, 13-12 overall in Margaret Richards' first season. Grambling State is at 8-6 in conference play. And then you have Alcorn State finishing up the top half, dead even at 7-7. Going toward the bottom half of the standings, you got FAMU at 6-9, Bethune-Cookman 6-9, Prairie View 5-10, Alabama State 4-11, and to finish it off, you got Mississippi Valley State at 3-12 in conference play, as well as Arkansas Pine Bluff at 1-14 in conference play. All right, you guys, excuse me. And as I mentioned earlier, we can actually segue over to what we got with regards to the Andre Dawson Baseball Classic, which was over this past weekend. Forgive me, you guys. And they actually released their all-tournament team here recently. And when we actually get to it, the listing actually goes with Jackson State having the most players selected on the team, followed by Grambling. And as you can actually see, you have Joseph Eichelberger, Aaron Herrera, Eric Elliott, excuse me, Davion Hull, Eric Gonzalez, and Cozy Ditter, honorable mention at pitcher, made the all-tournament team. Alabama State got 5 guys listed: Juan Cruz, Kelvin Agosto, Kyler McIntosh, Cameron Douglas, and Johan LeBoy. Then we actually go over here to Grambling State. You got Trenton Shaw, Peyton Allen, Martavius Thomas, Ethan Bates, honorable mention, and Trey Bridges, honorable mention. Going on to, we have Southern University with 4 guys tabbled. Got Cordell Thibodeau, Taj Bates, Cameron Bird, Nick Luckett. Going, you have Prairie View had 3 representatives. You had Amar Donato. I'm butchering these names. Jaden Williams and Landon Williams. FAMU had 3 as well. Brody Popple, Ben Kim, and Josu Figueroa. And then lastly, you have Alabama A&M with two representatives. You got Jaden Proper and Trey Rutledge, right? Which man, you guys get a chance, man. Go check out your HBCU baseball, man. It's a lot of good talent. And all my Southern Knights, man. Y'all go show my little cousin some love, man. Steven Tolbert had a good outing at LSU. I think he got two strikeouts. Pitched, I believe, I want to say an inning, maybe two. And had a good showing, man. So y'all go show my little baby cousin some love. Y'all get a chance. All right. Now, little thing I kind of wanted to get into with regards to this show, man. I actually want to talk about this, man. South Carolina State actually made some news, man, and actually brought in and made a upgrade to Chennis Berry, man, upgrade to his staff, man. And actually hired Marcus Lawrence, O-line coach, came by way of Alabama A&M. And let me tell you guys, this is a damn good hire. Really good hire. Again, when you look at what South Carolina State did in Chennis Berry's first year, and you talk about, you know, losing the HBCU national championship and what's this going to look like in year two. They're going to lose quarterback, but they had a good, really good recruiting class. And so, what that's going to look like, what all is that going to entail next season? And let me just let you guys know this: Marcus Lawrence was at Alabama A&M the previous 7 years, and prior to being at Alabama A&M, he was at Hampton as a tight end coach. But his work at Alabama A&M was really good, and getting him over to Orangeburg is going to pay dividends. Lets me know they're going to take their O-line play seriously. Alabama A&M had the whole entire time that Coach Maynard was the head coach at Alabama A&M. Two things stood out. They had really good O-line play, and they ran the ball really well. They led the conference in total yards per game last season. Jackson State led the conference in scoring. Jackson State um, uh, was second in offense. Well, Jack State led the conference in rushing touchdowns, but Alabama A&M actually led the conference in total yardage on offense. I think they actually brought in about, I want to say it was a shade over 400 yards, but they led the conference in total yards per game, and they led the conference in rushing yards per game. And they were always in the top three for the past 7 years under this regime. And so now you get that over to Orangeburg. That's a damn good move. Kind of, put you to mind, or at least envision that South Carolina State is going to run the ball a lot more for next year. So I'm interested to see, what that's going to look like and what changes they're going to make because, you tend to see your biggest leap from year one to year two. And again, they made the HBCU National Championship in year one. So it's safe to say that they're ahead of schedule. So, but nonetheless, damn good pickup for Alabama. I'm sorry, for South Carolina State. And before I actually get in this, man, let me get into some of these comments, man. Look, if y'all got any questions, you want to hit your boy up, man. Y'all put your comments in the chat. I'm gonna say what's up to everybody, man. Blue, appreciate turning in, man. What up, Uncle Steve? Blue, I'm at the shout out to you, get you up on here too, bro. And let's see what else we got here. We got Mika tuning in. What's up, Horace? It's one of them Stratas, man. Look, it's 1,000 of y'all, but thanks for tuning in, Horace, man. That's a good dude right there. Yes, David, you must be talking about Norfolk State. Yes, they do have a chance to win 30 games. And when the last time you had an HBCU program hit 30 wins in basketball? It's been a minute, especially on the D1 level. So, but both the men and women are doing a damn good job. But man, their women are really kicking tail right now. So kudos to them. And all right, nobody actually come up with any questions. What up, Tuck? All right, man. Actually, go ahead and get into it. Give me 1 second here. I'm actually, man, look, we about to go ahead and get into what I've been waiting on. And look, so Mississippi Valley State, man, Terrell Buckley in his first year under his new regime, um, been anticipating seeing what this new staff is going to look like, right? And so they made an announcement today. They released a few of the hires that he has, and one in particular, man, really uh, raised an eyebrow, right? In a good way. Got my antenna up, and it's kind of surprising to see this particular hire, at Valley. So I'm very, very intrigued by it. And actually, go ahead and get into it, man. Listen, they released the names of four new guys joining Terrell Buckley and joining the staff in his first year. And we'll go ahead and get started with the OC, man. Look, we got Samuel Parker. It's going to be the offensive coordinator, O-line coach. And this is the hire alone that really, really got perked my antenna up and, really raised some eyebrows. Look, this is this is a damn good hire. This is a very, very strong and damn good hire for Valley. When you talk about Samuel Parker, who is coming to Mississippi Valley State, having just played for a national championship, having just won a national championship. So when we talk about Tremaine Jackson at Prairie View, having the success that he did over at Valdosta State and parlaying that to a job into a job at Prairie View. We look at, and he lost. We look at this Samuel Parker, who was the run game coordinator slash old line coach at Ferris State. Who this is a football powerhouse. We talk about Valdosta State being a traditional power. We're talking about Ferris State being a national power, even more so here lately with more recent success and winning. They've won three Division II championships in 2021, 2022, and 2024, right? And guess what? He was there for all of it. He was the run game coordinator slash O-line coach. He's also a former player at Ferris State, played left tackle, played 3 years there. And I got to tell you guys, when you talk about upward movement, this is the line of thinking when we talk about what Valley should do or what Bethune-Cookman should do or what a Pine Bluff should do. Go get good, solid coaching on the D2 level that's had obtainable, success. This is the route that you go. I mean, look, he's making the leap up to D1 in an up and coming conference and looking for some success. And again, attaching himself to Terrell Buckley. This is a solid, damn good hire. And again, if these guys can recruit, I'm really, really interested to see what they're gonna do because again, this guy and go back if you guys are familiar, go tune in, check out and look at what Ferris State has done and look at not only what they done, but how they did it. They had great old line play at Ferris State. And if you guys are familiar, Ferris State is in Michigan. And I remember, saying watching them in the playoffs on numerous occasions. And man, if they can, because again, you don't have to have, the best talent to win. But man, let me tell you, if you can get some damn good O line play, you don't have to have the best talent at quarterback. You don't have to have the best talent at running back. But damn it, if you can get a good line, you can make average players good behind a damn good O line. And this guy has had some damn good O line talent at Ferris State on the D2 level. So this is a damn good hire for Terrell Buckley. And again, for him to reach out and make him the offensive coordinator, um, this tells me something about Terrell Buckley and what he's trying to do and how he's going to go about doing it. So again, very very intrigued about this. And again, we're talking about Mississippi Valley. So again, kudos to him. Great hire. And look, man, I got to tell you, he actually came in and man, look, I'm sorry to put this up, man. He actually got his own name for his office already. You know what I'm saying? I'm interested, man. The Rage Offense. Man, look, I can't remember. Look, the only time I remember Valley having a name with their offense, I believe, was under Willie Todden. Before then, it was the Satellite Express with him and Jerry Rice. But I believe Willie Todden had a name with his offense, and he had Aries Nelson, and Valley was formidable on offense under Willie Todden. But man, listen, this is a damn good look, man. So kudos to him for coming on. And I told you guys, I'm interested to see Valley's spring game. I'm definitely gonna head that way to check it out. And so we'll get into that. And then they also named Tony Carter, who is the new defensive coordinator slash DB coach for Mississippi Valley. And Tony Carter, this is an actual tie-in with Coach Buckley. Tony Carter actually played at Florida State, played in the NFL for 8 years, mostly played with the Denver Broncos and the Indianapolis Colts. Um, and I believe he played 1 year with the New England Patriots, but he was the actual defensive coordinator under Terrell Buckley with the Orlando, I believe it was the Renegade in the XFL. Excuse me. And that team folded. They weren't taken in within the merger of the USFL and XFL merger. And so they only had that 1 year together. So he was an actual defensive coordinator for the Orlando Renegade. But he actually has some coaching experience. I believe he coached at Southern Illinois on the FCS level, and he actually coached, I believe, with Jacksonville University. Did a little internship, I believe, with the Lions and with the Raiders. And it's the Guardians. I said Renegade. It's the Guardians, Orlando Guardians. And so I'm kind of questionable on this as the DC. But again, they only had that 1 year. It was the first year within the XFL, and they didn't put up good numbers. But nonetheless, it was 1 year, and it was the first year of an expansion league, right? So, but again, there's some familiarity there. Young coach, NFL ties, so I'm interested to see what that's going to look like as well. But they've been recruiting some guys, and let me tell you, they got a damn good defensive back out of Metro Tallahassee. We told you guys about a few weeks ago. So this will be the actual defensive coordinator. Now we actually go over here to the running back coach. Running back coach is going to be Jaleel Kilpatrick. And Jaleel Kilpatrick was a former player at Indiana State. If that name sounds familiar, yes, he's the actual son of Kwame Kilpatrick, former mayor of Detroit, Michigan. And so couldn't really pick up too much on his resume, but I do know he's a former player. But he's going to be the running back coach over at Valley. And then we got the linebackers coach. Now, this was the only, you know, red flag for me with regards to the staff, but even this has a tie-in to Terrell Buckley. Kelvin Smith, who was the linebacker coach, and Kelvin Smith actually comes by way of Virginia University, Lynchburg, and he had a plethora of position job scope over at Virginia Lynchburg. He was the assistant head coach, D coordinator, linebackers coach, special teams coordinator, and the strength coach. But again, he actually, excuse me, he's actually a former teammate at Florida State of Terrell Buckley. So that's the only thing, being that he was at Virginia Lynchburg, which they were a punching bag for everybody. But I'll say this: notwithstanding, just because it was Virginia Lynchburg, but again, I think Nick Saban could have been at Virginia and Lynchburg, and they still would have gotten drugged the way that they did. So I guess it's not too bad of an indictment. It's just the fact that you hear the name Virginia University Lynchburg associated with anything, and it just doesn't ring really good. Now, does it? So that's the only thing with regard to that. So, but nonetheless, I still think the OC hire. I think the defensive coordinator is okay. I still was kind of expecting for a slight splash, but man, look, it's Valley, right? And the defensive coordinator as well as the OC, this was kind of a red flag. They both have joint titles, which is kind of rare, right? Defensive coordinator is also the cornerback coach. The offensive coordinator is also the O-line coach, which is a rarity. But it also makes you to wonder how much money does Valley actually have to go toward the financing of paying coaches their salary, and this is what we're talking about. But again, we'll see because there are some more hires to come down the pipe. We still haven't seen the running backs coach, still haven't seen excuse me. I'm sorry. Still haven't seen a wide receiver coach. I said all right. Still haven't seen the wide receiver coach. Still didn't see the special teams coach, and we also didn't see a D line coach as well. So looking to see what else that's going to look like, and if he's going to have any other particular names. I know that Coach Buckley stated that he was trying to reel in Mario Edwards, which would be a huge get to this particular staff as well. Another former Florida State legend, and has a son that's in the NFL, and he's been a damn good coach in Texas. So it'd be a damn good pickup and another good name to add to the staff to make you feel a whole lot, better about it, you guys. And pull this down here and look, man, we'll actually get into it. I wanted to mention this. Want to say, man, rest in peace to Roberta Flack. Look, huge fan of hers. I'm a huge Donny Hathaway fan, and man, as a kid, um, being a fan of hers, listening to um the first time I ever saw your face, and the closer I get to you, and back together again, and knowing that she had a hand in getting Luther Vandross's career started, right? Was a huge thing, man. So I was devastated to hear the news that she passed, late early this morning or late last night. And typically want to get to a Black History fact, but just want to say, man, RIP. Man, we're losing all of our greats. And think I'm gonna sit here playing the closer I get to you before I before I even doze off and snooze for this evening. But again, nonetheless, man, rest in peace to Roberta Flack, man. Uh another black angel, man, going on to become an ancestor. Saying for all of us. But anyway, man, look, you guys gonna have any questions or anything in the chat? Just wanted, man, thank you guys for tuning in to Zone Coverage Podcast, man. It was a pleasure. And look, man, y'all tune in Thursday, man. We'll actually get into the upcoming games over the weekend and all the other breaking news that actually come way as the week goes on. So out with that, man, we'll catch you guys next time. Good evening.